Hey guys, so I want to give you a character update for my new Crit Slammer Day 3, Day 4 update, and also some useful FAQ questions for those that are playing this build. Maybe you're struggling a bit. I want to go over all of that in this video. First things first is why Crit Slammer. So there's this new helmet mod in the new patch. Skills have 2.9% to critical strike chance for each war cry exerted them. We have 5 war cries, they're pretty much always up. So this is essentially 15% base crit. It rolls from 2% to 3%. If you're not sure how base crit works, my axe is 5% base crit. This is 15%. So we have 20% base crit, meaning you only need 400% increased critical strike chance to get crit cap, which is extremely easy because power charges by themselves, which you already have 3 of, gives you 150% increased critical strike chance. So yeah, this helmet mod is stupidly strong. It is ridiculously overpowered. And yeah, it might beat Echoes of Curation. At the very least, it's less annoying to gear than Echoes of Curation because there's no self-hit damage. You just kind of put it on. It's kind of like plug and play. Although you do need accuracy on gear because you can no longer take Resolute Technique. As you see, we did have to drop this here because you can't deal crits with this on. So I want to go over this whole character and also a lot of useful FAQ questions. How to craft axe, chest, how to farm tier 17s, if you feel squishy or not. Let's go over all that in this video. So first things first for the Crit Slammer, like I said, I think this actually is on the top end more damage than Echoes of Curation. For the reason being, like high-end crit setups, you can get like 400% multi, right? Which is like a 3 times damage multiplier, while Echoes of Curation is capping out at like 70% to 80% more damage. So the high-end crit should be more damage than Echoes of Curation, but Echoes of Curation does an upside where you can get like 2k ES with doryani's jewel, take Divine Shield and have a really good regen. Maybe you can do that with this character as well. It is kind of tough though without self-damage because you can't really regen without Divine Shield. But yeah, there's also stuff you can do as well for defense. Obviously, you can get like 90% max res. I'm mostly just doing this for the insane damage you're getting. It's just very easy to do. All you really need is the helmet mod and like 2 accuracy rolls. So I have 1 accuracy on my gloves and 1 accuracy on my ring. And of course, you do need a little bit of accuracy on gear as well. Besides that, the character is more or less the same. I will have the POV here as well. This is when I swap the crit. Obviously, you don't need Yoke or Headhunter to swap the crit. I just had these when I swapped to it. But the other rest of the gear is like really easily attainable. Now, I'm not really sure the helmet at the moment, how rare it is or how expensive it is. I got mine for pretty cheap. Obviously, when I buy something, it usually goes up. But like I said, the Echoes of Curation setup, the regular POV is still just as good and it's just as solid. So yeah, besides that, there's not much else to know about the crit setup. It is just very high damage. There is some like upsides and downsides for map mods where you like doing reduced crit kind of sucks, but on the upside, or you can take alter mods that give you negative PDR, because if you take those alter mods to Echoes of Curation, you will just straight up kill yourself. So yeah, there is some upsides to this and some downsides. Also gonna reduce mana cost attacks is pretty nice. My Volcanic Fissure is only 15 mana now. Let's go over quickly the Q&A. So yeah, crit, helm, or echoes, both are good. I'm playing crit for now. It allows me to run more map mods like I just said, and I can take more alters. I might still test the Echoes of Curation setup. I'll let you know if I do go echoes. How do you go crit? So you need the Warcry Exert Helm crit mod, which only draws from Infamous Mercs. You can't go crit without this helmet. Besides that, you still have a few passive points. You do need a few crit nodes. I'll link the POB down below, of course. And you need at least 2 pieces with high accuracy rolls. I would say 1k total on gear, if not more. Second question, pre-roll for the lower gear. I feel squishy, what can I do? I got this question a few times, which I found kind of like confusing because bottom left of the tree is like the tankiest part of PoE. Like you have endurance charge, you have a fortify, you have high armor. You're extremely tanky bottom left. Usually when I ask these people why they feel squishy, they're not like max res. So you need 82 max res, right? You need to be taking both of these wheels. Take this wheel right here and this wheel right here. If you're enter red maps, you should have both of these. Very important. Also try to get +1 max on your chest. This is done through a lesser Eldritch Ember, CR and Exarch. Also pretty important. That's like an additional like 6% DR for elemental damage. Aim for around 5k life. So have like tier 1 or tier 2 life in every single piece besides your chest armor. Aim for 10k armor with no buffs. So you really want like a high armor chest, which I'll go over how to craft this. It's actually pretty cheap. Also aim around for like 25k to 30k armor with all buffs up. So when you're in map, max rage, flask on. Also, another big defensive boost is a faster axe over comms. This could be a little bit expensive. If you have a faster axe, obviously that's kind of like a defense because you're killing stuff before they kill you. And once you get a faster axe, you can also try taking the 5 paint over Rite of Ruin because you really need Rite of Ruin when playing comms. It gives a massive amount of damage. It's why it's so good. But without comms, you can drop Rite of Ruin 4 to 5 pain. So what am I talking about here is your ascendancy. So yeah, with comms, you need to take Rite of Ruin. But once you drop comms and get a red axe, you can go stuff like the 5 pain, or you can even go Gore Dancer for instant leech. I think both of these are pretty solid options and a massive defense boost, especially since when you unclick Rite of Ruin, you're also gaining 7.5% HP regen a second back. So not only are you essentially getting a massive defense node in Defy Pain or Gore Dancer, but you're also getting a massive HP regen back. So yeah, a rare axe does go a long way and increase your defense surprisingly well, despite it being a weapon and like a body armor. When can I farm tier 17s? So tier 17s, you can farm when you have all the stats above. I was doing tier 17s day one. Wasn't pretty because I had like a 2 or 3 divine character. But I think once you have like a solid 15 or 20 divine character, you can do tier 17s at a pretty comfortable rate as long as you avoid all the damage map mods. I will have my regex down below, so that should help you out. But yeah, remember, tier 17s are more so less about your character strength and more so about which map mods you run. Like if you roll 27% pen, you will just die. Like that is, you're taking double the damage. So do keep that in mind. Comms is slow. What can I do? This is a complaint I heard quite a bit. The weapon is slow. That is the downside because it's extremely high DPS for the price. Like nothing comes close to that damage for the price range. Like it's like 5 chaos now. It's equal to 800 PDPS axes. It's extremely strong. The downside, yes, it is slow. Just remember, you need to stack rage as soon as possible when you do comms to get that very, very high attack speed. So just the first attack you do in the map, it is going to be slow, but once your rage is ramped up, you're fine. You can replace comms when you have like 800, 850 DPS axe. These do cost like a little bit, like 5 to 10 divines, or you can make it yourself. Remember, you do have to swap like Fist of War and some rage nodes. Just follow the POB down below. When do I go ES/Doryani Jewel? So you only go Doryani Jewel when playing Echoes of Curation. Otherwise, you don't really go ES. I don't think there's another good way to recover ES without Echoes of Curation, because Echoes of Curation actually gives you a loop where it starts recharging ES. If someone knows a good way, I mean, you can let me know. Yeah, so currently I'm not ES, even though I would like to be, because I'm using the crit helmet and not Echoes of Curation. Remember, only go Doryani Jewel when you have Echoes of Curation. How do I craft the body armor/weapon? So last thing here, body armor has a few different methods. So first, you need a Royal Plate ILO 86. This is the best base. And either spam dense fossils or do dense plus jagged. So these fossils right here. So you can either solo use dense and just spam this, or you can use dense plus jagged. You add in jagged because it's likely to add the physical damage reduction mod, which is extremely important on the chest. It's very, very strong. Either method works, just depends on prices. The other method is just to spam a reforged defense on the harvest bench. This is also quite viable. Once again, it depends on the price to which one's cheaper. The fossils is the more reliable method, but they could be more expensive. For a weapon, you need at least ILO 83. Val Axe is preferable, but you can use stuff like Curie Maul or some other bases. Preferably, you want a fractured base, but it's not needed, although it is a lot cheaper if you have a fractured base and a lot more doable. Without a fractured base, it can be pretty RNG. Either way, you either want hyper % fizz as the best fracture, or % fizz is the second best fracture. After that, it's just content essence spam. That's it. So if you have % fizz fracture, you can tap essence spam until either hybrid fizz, or you can tap essence spam until you get like a good suffix, like tier 1 attack speed, and then you do prefix cannot be changed and aug fizz, and this will guarantee hybrid fizz. Now it's not guaranteed to be high hybrid fizz, but it will guarantee it. If you have hybrid fizz, you either, once again, you can tap essence spam until high attack speed or high % fizz. If you get high attack speed, you can do prefix cannot be changed. You do Exalt Veiled Orb, and this will guarantee a % fizz roll on your prefix. Those are the two methods you can do to craft your weapon. It's not cheap, it is expensive. You also can just buy it, but yeah. Anyway, that's all for the FAQ. All the questions. I'm going over my crit slammer. I can't recommend a crit slammer. It's very, very strong. It's a lot more damage than Echoes of Curation, at least in the end game. Early on, it might be quite equal. There is a downside because you do need 2 more suffixes than usual. You need, suffix on your gloves for accuracy, and suffix on 1 ring, or suffix on 2 rings. But yeah, it is very, very strong, especially with Headhunter, because Headhunter does give you accuracy and crit mods. So if you are going to Headhunter route, then the crit has even more value. It becomes extremely, extremely strong with Headhunter. But yeah, that's about it. If any questions, feel free to comment below. I will leave both POBs down below, both the crit slammer and the non-crit slammer. But yeah, that's about it.